Yes. Yeah, I was wondering, do y'all have any like funny behind the scenes stories when recording for GI Joe?
uh, Michael Bell, who played Duke, said to Wally Burr, I am in 10 different series. I have a lot of work this afternoon. I've got to get out of here. Could we speed this up? And so I don't remember who did this. If I did, I probably wouldn't say their name. All right, Michael, go ahead, say your lines. Let's go ahead. And so Duke is doing his lines. And one of the other actors comes up with a Zippo lighter and lights the script on fire. Michael, what the hell? He quickly hid his Zippo lighter. Gee, I don't know, Michael, what happened? Well, your script is suddenly hot. That's one.
Yeah, not too much funny stuff happened in front of the microphones. Most of it would be in the green room. Because you could look ahead and say, well, I'm not in the next 6 pages, which will take Wally 3.5 hours to record, so I'm going to go in the green room. And I heard some of the greatest jokes, stories. Yeah. I mean, some of those other, that was the joy of voiceovers in those days. You would meet, there was almost nobody you would meet in that business who had started out in that business. They all came from somewhere else. There were radio bums like us. There were theater actors, television actors, movie actors, comedians, writers, you know, a whole panoply of people and some wonderful storytellers. And it was like going to the greatest party imaginable, except there was no liquor served. But other than that, you know, you had a great time. And but I'm blanking as far as anything really funny that happened. Well, Brian had the most brilliant line once. This is good. We were doing the GI Joe movie, which never became a movie because the Transformers movie tanked so bad because they killed Optimus Prime. It's a whole other story. But anyway, the producers, the McCalls, the father and son, had flown to Los Angeles to observe, and within about 30 seconds they pushed Wally out of the way and they started directing. And oh boy, it just plodded and plodded and plodded. And Wally's studio, there was no parking. There may be 2 spaces which were never available, so you had to park on the street, and there were meters and people were endlessly getting tickets. And so we're sitting there in silence, waiting while the McCalls argue with Wally, and we can't hear a word they're saying there in the booth. Brian says, God, when I came in here, I was worried about getting a ticket. Now I'm starting to sweat depreciation. I guess you had to be there. I thought that was one of the best lines I ever heard.
We had fun. I've told a couple of people already, one of my favorite things actually came way after G.I. Joe. My favorite feeling about Wally Burr was a wonderful guy, but he knew what he wanted, and we had a big party to celebrate Wally's contribution, how much it was great to work with him. And at the end of the evening, he had them pull out in the place that we were meeting at the club. They played the heavy metal theme song from Transformers, and Wally said, so everybody, we're gonna get together, we're gonna sing this theme song. So we sang the theme song, and then Wally said, okay, you can do better. So we sang it a second time, and then we finished the second time, he said, no, it's not good enough. So we sang it 3 times before Wally passed off on it. It was just at the party, but that was Wally Burr. It's still affectionately remembered for that.
Yeah, I remember we did a convention. Oh, and it was up in Toronto. Wally was there and I was there, and they said, Mr. Burr, if you wouldn't mind, we have a little. We've had a contest, and the 5 winners get to do some lines from Transformers, and you can direct them, you know, and it'll be kind of fun. And if you wouldn't mind. Oh, I'll be happy to do that. All right. So these people get up. I mean, they're civilians, you know, they're scared to death, and they're holding the pages. And he started directing. And within 30 seconds, it's like he's forgotten they're civilians. He's directing them like he used to direct us. And I want this, and give me that, and then 2 of those, and over here, go! No, I want it. And one of the promoters sidles over to me and he says, you know, I've heard you actors talk about this guy for years. We didn't believe it, but I believe it now. These poor people, they won a contest. Yeah, if that's winning.
Wally,
Yeah, right.
Wally told a story, and I don't know if he really did this or if he, was just telling wives' tales, but he told about a film that he directed where it was a Western where the lead actor goes walking off into the desert and stuff, and he said that he had got this idea that it would really be fun to do this, so the actor's walking off and the cameras are rolling, they're out of the desert, and the guy wants to get this right because he's way in the middle of this dusty place out over the hills out by Palmdale, California. And he said, so what I did is, he said, I had them very quickly and quietly take the camera and break it down, take all of this stuff in the set and break it down, load it in, and then drive away. And he said, and I never told the actor that we broke everything down, and so he just kept on walking because he knew he didn't want to do the take over and over again. I'm not sure how it turned out, but that was another side of Wally. It was pretty great. This is the fun side.
For whom?
Great to hear. Yeah.
So I think we have.
So it has nothing to do with voiceovers, but it reminds me of a great Michael Caine story. When he was starting out, he was an unknown, and he did a movie called Zulu. And he's riding this horse, and the horse went berserk and took off, and he couldn't control it, and he flew off the horse and landed in the dirt, and he was in great pain, and he sees the crew, they're rushing towards him, and they rush right past him. And he's lying there like, and one crew member stops and he says, you we can replace. The horse, not so much. He said, if we had been on the picture 10 weeks, we'd have worried about you. But you could be replaced. Not that horse. We can't get another one.
Very good, Michael Caine.
Thank you.
Very good.
Nothing really.
So we have time for maybe one or two more